Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
Look at this. Where's this image? It's gone. It's here. Look at this. See here. So again, you can get some time to read in detail. That's my not a topic, but I'm just telling you. User, see here. PID here. MNT here. And network here. Okay. C groups here. And capability, where is that? IPC, UTC also, UTS. But capability, this image is not up to date. I mean, it's good image, but not complete one. So let's look at the capability here. This is a better image. You see here. Okay, like look at this here. These are the names of PID, MNT, network, C groups, capability, and network. Okay, so guys, this is the requirement. So if anyone will ask you, okay, tell me, do you know what are the components needed to run any application in the operating system? So these are the things. Now look at this in one more image. Hardware, operating system has kernel has a namespace, C groups, capability, one PID, one MNT, one network, and then user, and then you run the application. Did you understand this question?
Yes.
Any doubt, guys? Okay, good. So guys, now the question is, I was discussing about the Docker, but suddenly I changed the topic. What are the components needed to run any application like a software? Why? So we wanted to understand the container. Okay. So guys, again, I will not answer what is the container. You will get the answer automatically. So guys, what is happening? See that this picture again and again. See here. See here. This, let's have some sort of history and timeline. So running app, that's the question. So guys, how we were running app? You tell me. Not now, 20 years from now, in the past. Let's say 1990s. I think at that time I was not starting my career also. All right. So 1990s, how we were running applications? In what?
DOS.
Okay, probably I'm confusing with my question. We were running application in the physical server, don't you? Physical server. Right now also you are using a laptop, is a physical server. Okay, we were running application at that time in a desktop, correct? A desktop. But suddenly what happened? Okay, that we also call it a PC. Remember, PC, personal computing. Remember, what is the definition of personal computing? You know that. PC means human being. That device is for the personal computing. That means it's a personal human devices for the compute operation, right? Personal computing. Now, guys, after that, what has happened? Suddenly we got the internet. You know that. Now, when we got the internet, then it became more popular. And then we started, getting the application running on HTTP, like World Wide Web, HTTP protocol. So now internet, when it become popular, then we started running not application in a physical server. Now let me remind you, physical server, when I say that means your MS Office, Photoshop, Flash, Acrobat Reader. Many software we had it, you know that. Or still many software you are using in a physical server mode only. Okay, but now when we got the internet, then the software needed to be running. Think about it. The software needed to be running, but not in a physical server. They were running. They were running in the data center. Data center. Think about it, because see, you are accessing that. Remember, which is the earliest application which you have used? Let's say Hotmail, MSN, Rediff, and so many applications you have used it. So all these applications, they were running in the data center, not here, not in your PC. That means you were browsing this application through the browser. See here, I'm browsing the website like a google.com, amazon.com, devopsschool.com, and so many. So these are running in the data center, not in my laptop. Earlier we were in laptop, but running in the data center. So guys, when we were running the data center, then we got a problem. What problem? You only understand and tell me what problem. See here. Now, let's say there is one application you want to run. The maximum peak time, think about it, maximum peak time is 16 GB. At a peak time, you need a RAM of 16 GB. And at the lowest traffic when you have, you need a 4 GB. Now, when I averages out the utilization, 4 GB versus 16 GB, I could find out, okay, my average utilization is 6 GB. Average, okay, average, not a peak, not a low. So guys, you tell me, I want to set up a 10 server like this.
Hey viewers, trying to get into DevSecOps? Enroll for our DevSecOps certified professional programs and earn the certification that shows you are fit for these technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
So would you buy a RAM of 6 GB or 4 GB or 16 GB? You tell me. You want to run a data center and you know that your peak hours requirement is 16 GB. So will you buy 10 GB, 16 GB, 4 GB or 6 GB? Which one you buy?
Maximum.
Which one?
16.
16. Now guys, you think about it. So now you are running the data center. Now just multiply by 10 machine only. Though in a data center, you know, thousands of machine you run it, but I'm multiplying by 100 machines only. So now, sorry, 10 machine only, just for the easy calculation. I'm not very great at mathematics. So here 16 is to 10. So altogether you got this 160 GB total compute power. I'm just talking about the RAM in a simple calculation. Guys, how much your utilization is in real? 60 GB. So now if you look at this here, how much waste? So total waste is 100 GB. Guys, you know, this is a waste you are making every day. 100 GB of things. Now guys, this is the wastage we had in a data center also. Now you know one thing, you cannot tell, okay, during the peak hours, non-peak hours, whatever the server we have, I will give it to the QA team, dev team, other management, other project. I cannot share this infrastructure. You know that production servers, you cannot share with anyone else. So it's exactly 100% waste. 100 GB you are wasting. On top of it, have you remember any time you paid any money? You paid any money to the internet-based applications like Yahoo, Google searches, Gmail, Orkut, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, any website have you paid for any money? So guys, what they need, what they want, they saw that if I run the applications in a data center and in the physical machine, my wastage are too much. Same time, non-peak hours also and peak hours also, I have to manage that same hardware. I cannot reuse that hardware to the some other purpose also. So this is a complete waste. On top of that, our clients are not paying, but we are making money from the ads. So what they wanted to do, they wanted to saving cost and saving time. Saving cost means how can they get rid of this wastage, and how can they save time in terms of release cycle, because you know that when we had a desktop based application, release used to happen once in a year, once in a 2 years or something like that. But when it is an internet based applications, you have releases every frequent here and there. So how can we save time to set up a data center and run applications and all this stuff like that, and at the same time improving the quality? So what we do? So what they did, they migrated into virtual machine. And guys, all of you know that virtual machine. What is a virtual machine? You know that. Okay. Just for the formalities purpose, I'm drawing up pictures of it. Guys, look at this virtual machine. So see here, you have a hardware. On top of that, you will have a kernel, a operating system, lightweight, and then top of that you have a hypervisor. Which are the hypervisor you have worked with so far? Which are the hypervisor? Yeah, VirtualBox, VMware. Today you will use VirtualBox, okay? VMware, Zen, KVM, so many of these, Hyper-V from Microsoft. So many, VMware. So many hypervisor are there right now. vSphere. Okay.
AWS uses Zen, right?
See, I cannot comment because I don't know. So that is the problem. So yeah. So hypervisor. KVM, we have a hypervisor. So many popular hypervisors are there. So here, what is there? So this is the hardware, and then top of kernel, and then hypervisor. Hypervisor have the virtual machines. So this is one virtual machines, two virtual machines, three virtual machines. Now inside of virtual machines, you know that you have operating system. Think about it. You have operating system. Think about it. Now what you want to run in operating system? Some application. So what you will have? Operating system, because of its operating system, you will get one mount, same image which I created last time. Mount means root file system. You will get one network. All this come from the namespace, you know that. You will get one PID, process ID, and then one user, and then Apache you run, or any applications. Same thing with other also. Okay, you know that, correct now? So these are the, here I answered what are the components needed. So see here you get everything. Mount, network, PID, user. All this thing come from the operating system. Okay, so guys, this application runs. Now, if you have additional hardware remaining, you can use for the other team, like a testing team or development team or QA team or any other projects also. So you're not wasting infrastructure here. So here you see that how much you are wasting. With the introduction of the cloud, your reduction of the wastage got reduced. You're not wasting so much here. So over the period of time, we have moved to virtual machine. Guys, nowadays we all are using virtual machines, like a private cloud, like a vSphere, VMware and all, public cloud like a AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and so on. But guys, there is a problem. There is a problem. See, earlier we were using the internet. Earlier we were using the internet, and very few people were using the internet. But you know that nowadays everyone is on internet, and they are connected day and night. Day and night. Have you got any complaint from Facebook saying that, okay, listen, you should not use?
Hey viewers, our Master in DevOps engineering program can help you to hone the skills necessary to succeed in high-level DevOps positions. So what are you waiting for? Enroll now and earn certification that show you are keeping pace with today's technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
you should not upload so much of images. Have you got any complaint from YouTube saying that you should not upload your videos, too many videos? Have you got any complaint from someone else like you should not do this, you should not do that and stuff like that? No. So guys, nowadays we are not using internet, we are consuming internet day and night. In fact, internet is consuming us day and night. Without you knowing, you are consuming your data every day and night in your mobile. Your application is running 24/7. You use so many applications nowadays: Instagram, WhatsApp, Gmail, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, your office email, office different applications. So many applications day and night you are consuming automatically is running. So guys, don't you think when it is running, these applications is creating some sort of load on the application data center? So nowadays we need more CPU, more RAM, more storage. But the problem here is, for the organization, data center cost is increasing day by day. Salaries are getting increased. Electricity is getting increased. This space is getting increased. Hardware cost is getting increased. But at the same time, you are not paying for this application. So what should they do? How they can run simple? How they can run application cheaper, faster, better? Simple thing. How they can run cheaper, faster, better. Why cheaper? Because you are not paying. Why faster? Because if they do not fix the bug within a few seconds, you will not use it. For example, let's say you are using Ola or Uber every day. Let's say you are a very fan of Ola. So let's say you are using Ola suddenly, and then what is happening? It's down for some time, only for 1 minute. So what do? You migrate to Uber. Second day also, if it is down, you migrate to Uber. Third day, where you go? Uber, not Ola. Same thing happened with me from last few days, actually, from last 15 days. I was using Google Pay every time. But from last few days, Google Pay is getting hanged. I don't know for what is reason. It's loading the contacts, all the contacts, and it's getting hanged. So what I did, I checked once, I got irritated. I tried once, I got irritated. It took some time to do that. So I migrated immediately to PhonePe and Paytm. Nowadays, I don't use a Google Pay at all. So this is what the Google has lost this business. Correct? So guys, the things has to be fixed faster, and the quality of the software should be better. When the quality of the software can be better? Who can do that quality of the software better? When you give appropriate time to the development and QA effort. But QA and development is not getting time. So how can you save their time? So many processes we have, and that is where we need a DevOps. You see that, right? DevOps is being popular. Why? Because of these are the requirements we have. We want to improve the quality of the software, saving the time, saving the cost. So we want to, every organization want to migrate to DevOps. Okay, anyways, so now we are not paying for this. So if these are 2020s, and now the application is still running the data center, but we need some way other way to do what? Saving cost, saving time, and stuff like that. So guys, do you find any flaws in this model? This is a VM model. Do you find any flaws in this model? Anyone? Do you find any flaws in this model, guys?
We are again loading that OS and all the things, right?
Yeah. And it's a VM model which we are using from last 15 plus years. So what is the flaws? See here. One application. So if I host the 3 applications, so how many operating system you need? 1, 2, 3, 4. So total, to run any 3 applications, you need a 4 operating system. 4 operating system. Guys, if you look at this operating system, also consumes CPU, RAM, storage, licensing cost. That's the one drawbacks. And here if I see hypervisor consume also lots of CPU, lots of RAM, lots of storage, lots of money in terms of licensing cost. So the question is, how can we reduce this wastage? So earlier, see here, we migrated from the physical machine to the virtual machine to avoid the wastage. But now we have to migrate from virtual machine to something else. Think about it. Now we have to migrate virtual machine to something else so we can save time and cost and many more. Correct, right?
Hey viewers, are you looking for formal training on SRE practices? Take our SRE program. This course will teach you how to successfully implement site reliability engineering in the modern day 24/7 services. Kickstart your SRE training today. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Yeah.
So guys, think about it. I think you know that answer if you have gone through my discussion. See here, you are running. Ultimate goal is this one, applications. Now, you are getting one operating system, each in the virtualization. So, what are the component needed? Every answers you have here. We have discussed actually, and I have explained it to you also. So, can you become architect now? And can you suggest something should be done here so you can run application cheaper, better, faster, and saving cost? Tell me what to do. What to do?
Yeah, we need to use the OS Anatomist rule.
Any others? Yeah, what you said, I couldn't hear you properly.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
We need to make one image as OS and that hypervisor.
You need to make one OS on what happened? Sorry, I didn't get you.
We need to get one OS user for all the applications.
Okay,
That
great.
is the solution.
That is the solution. Okay, so great. What I'll do, I'll prepare an image because that's a very great suggestion. So let me do one thing. So image, let me prepare. So guys, think about it. This is a hardware, okay? On top of that, you have a kernel, operating system. And kernel, you said, let's get rid of all this hypervisor and this operating system. Let's run one applications here. So let's do one thing, because kernel will give me one network, one mount, C drive, D drive like that, and one PD table. Guys, now I will run one user, 2 user, 3 user. And now tell me, one application, this is one user, you got it from the user namespace, user namespace, which is here, network and stuff like that. Now I will run one applications here, one applications here, one applications here using third user. Okay, 3 user, 3 applications. Now what is happening? This user will have port number 80. This user will have a PID number 50. And this user is writing the files in the, for easy purpose, C drive Apache. Now guys, do you think this Apache can also run, same Apache, same application, can run on 80 port?
No.
No. So guys, this Apache cannot run on 80 port. This also cannot run on 80 port. Now, do you think same PID will be there for this Apache?
No.
So here PID is also different, process ID. And then last one, this Apache also can write files in the C Apache, but what will be problem? You know, integrity problem, compromise of the data integrity. So this is also not recommended. It should be different directory, but this is not happening. So guys, you tell me, at a data center, when you are running thousands of applications, would you want 80 to 81, you want to change the behavior, 81, 82. If you change the port also, think logically. If you change the port, ultimately, you have to access this all application through the load balancer, right? Load balancer, because you are running in a data center so many applications and load balancer, and this is where I am going to access that. So think about it. This load balancer, do you think this load balancer will be able to load balance all the different ports? What is the rule for the load balancer? I hope you know that. Anyone would like to tell me? Anyone would like to tell me what is the rule for the load balancer?
It distribute loads over the servers.
But you require different port number or same?
Yeah, different port number.
Different port number or same port?
Same port number.
Same port. And here you will have a different port.
But internally, load balancer can route to different port numbers, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So guys, this is the things. So what we need to do in this case? So what we need to do in this case?
We need to isolate all these components.
What do you think? What should we do in this case?
We should not share the PID tables and the namespace tables across all the users.
Yeah. So guys, you know one thing? Can we do something like that? Let me propose some models here. Can we do something like that? So I'm drawing on pictures. Okay, one more picture. Hardware, kernel, and now let's do one thing. Because this kernel can create, okay, user, see here, 1, user 2, user 3, okay. Now, all this user, instead of sharing this network, think about this network and this mount, okay, and this PID, okay, this PID. What we will do, this kernel will have their, here, what we'll do, each user will have their own root file system, one mount here. Each user will have their own PID. Each user will have their own network. Okay. See, this is the user. Think about it. This is the user. This is the mount. This is the PID. This is the network. And this is the applications. Can we do something like this? Now you think about it. PID, mount, PID, network, and this one. Mount, PID, network, and applications. Okay, so see here, PID, mount, PID, network, and applications. So can we now this application, think about it. These applications will run on 80 port because of this network. These applications also can run on 80 port. These applications also can run on 80 port. This application writing a file in C Apache because they have their own root file system. This also C Apache. This also C Apache. This also PID 50. This also PID 50. This also PID 50. Can we do like this? Because here I said, right? See here, how many can be created? Multiple user, multiple PID, multiple mount, multiple network created. But how many allowed in operating system? Multiple 1, 1, 1. Did you understand this? So can you do this one? So now you have a no. See how many operating system you have? Only one. See here, only one. How many applications you are running? 3 right now. And each application has a separate entities. Their own root file system, their own PID table, their own network, and they are running this application freely with their own user space. All these things being empowered by kernel namespaces. Can we do something like that? What do you think?
So that kernel program will be managed by the hypervisor, right?
No hypervisor here, right? That's the problem. Can we do something like that? We'll discuss about what is needed actually. Can we do something like that? So here you don't need a 4 operating system. You need only 1 operating system. Can we run like this? Because here I said very clearly. Correct now?
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.